are you doing?
I'm burying you.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
You're waking the neighbors!
No!
Shut up!
No!
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. How did Joe Biden drop out of office? Well, you know, it did come as a bit of a shock to us. And I know this is embarrassing because we're supposed to do this, and it's I admit to you when I've failed, right? And I gotta tell you, while everybody was expecting it, kind of, I just kept seeing Joe Biden like a stubborn old mule saying nothing will get him to drop out of office. And it's particularly when Joe Biden was talking with George Slopadopoulos, as we lovingly call him, and in this interview with ABC News, Joe Biden sitting there grinning, looking orange as hell. Like, look at it, he's the color of the bookshelves behind him, right? Joe Biden sitting there saying, not God himself will get me to drop out of the race.
But, you know, on a more practical level, Washington Post just reported in the last hour that Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man. We've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination, too. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race. Stay in the race. None of the people said I should leave.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'd get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
So Joe Biden says not God himself. Joe Biden claims to be a Christian. Very weird thing to say as a Christian, even if you're just like a very passive Christian, very strange thing. If you like believe in God, if you actually believe in these things, and you say the Savior is not coming back, that's a strange thing to say. You might call it blasphemous. And nonetheless, Joe Biden's yesterday's news, the people who were really responsible for this are now sort of creeping out of the shadows. They're proud of their work. Nancy Pelosi, who essentially runs NBC News, right, with the Clintons, proudly squeeing that she's the one who got Biden out of the race. As Biden dug in and continues his campaign, Pelosi kept the pressure on. Democratic leaders and donors had tough conversations with Biden behind the scenes, but congressional sources give the former House Speaker a lot of credit for the exit. Oh, baby. Former Speaker stepped down from powerful perch, blah, 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 but she played a critical role in delicately nudging Joe Biden to the exit. Oh, really? Okay. Slobber a little more on Joe Biden. What everyone reports from behind the scenes is that Nancy Pelosi said that we're going to use the 25th Amendment against you. We're going to have all of Congress come out against you, dry up all of your fundraising. You're going to lose to Trump in total humiliation. And then we're going to kick you out of office by saying that you're senile. You're not sentient. This is what Pelosi did to Joe Biden. If you'd call that totally evil, yeah, that would be totally evil. Biden is isolated at home. Pelosi and other Democrats push for him to reconsider the race. So it's always Pelosi in these headlines. Pelosi privately told Biden, poll to show he cannot win, and will take down the House. Biden responded with defensiveness. Classic Biden. Do not feel bad for Joe Biden. Don't feel bad for Joe Biden. Joe Biden does not deserve any of your sympathy. Joe Biden asked for all of this. This is what you get when you have friends like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi famously, in the middle of all of this, said that Joe Biden has a condition. What does she know?
Have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking and the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
Nancy Pelosi, you can tell the moment that she decided to backstab Joe Biden with a machete. When Nancy Pelosi ran so quickly to MSNBC that and a show that Joe Biden watches, right? Morning Joe, that she didn't even have time to put on makeup, saying that it is going to be Joe Biden's decision whether he drops out, which means you're going to sign the contract one way or another, right? You're going to sign, we're leaving with this contract signed. And it's going to be either your signature or it's going to be the splatter of the inside of the material on your head.
Have your support to be the head of the Democratic ticket.
As long as the president it's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Although it's not just Joe Biden who we've been noticing is suffering as of late. Nancy Pelosi has been, struggling quite a bit on national TV. And maybe someone should check in on her. Maybe the hunter has become the hunted in this scenario. Nancy Pelosi not really being able to find her words on national TV, a literal billboard for term limits here.
When we saved the Affordable Care Act, remember when, yes, he was going to, repeal and replace, but whatever the replace was, nobody ever knew. We had 10,000 events throughout the country where people came forward and told their stories. Mm-hmm. Nothing more eloquent than that. Certainly more eloquent than the misrepresentation of the president, former occupant of the White House.
Okay, calm down, lady. Calm down. But none of this compares to what's currently been going on with Nancy Pelosi, who really can't pry herself away from the TV cameras, even though she is deeply infirmed and can barely speak. Nancy Pelosi, sucking her dentures into her mouth, has her brain break on air and starts contorting. It's very very weird. You can almost see the demons who live inside of them. Watch this.
It's the first bill that protect our assault, our bill. COVID. Shots in the arm, money in the pockets, children in school, people at work. The infrastructure bill, building in a way that is respectful of communities, chips and science.
Have you spoken to President Biden since he dropped out?
No, I have not.
Do you hope to?
Yes, I hope to.
Yeah.
We're all busy.
Is everything okay with your relationship?
You'd have to ask him, but I hope so.
Okay.
But he knows. Look, I have loved Joe Biden, respected him for over 40 years. Mm-hmm. I was party chair in California, then I became member of Congress, and then one thing, other housewife, House member, House Speaker, working with him all along. I think he has made one of the biggest contributions to our country.
So evil ages you, man. Got to tell you, there are a bunch of 90-year-olds that are sharp as a tack. Evil does, in fact, age you. And it does break your brain. Our verse of the day today actually was from Psalms. Many sorrows come to the wicked, but the unfailing love surrounds those who trust the Lord. Nancy Pelosi is a wicked person. And what she did to Joe Biden and what they've done to their entire party is completely and totally wicked. Will it pay off in the end? Are there enough smooth-brained morons to fall for the sugar rush of what they're doing to Kamala Harris right now? I don't know. I don't think so. And I have a lot of confidence in the American people, quite frankly. So we have, though, a group of people that don't care about you and certainly don't care about this country. And that's the last thing they care about. They care about themselves. They care about their own power. Watch Nancy Pelosi get called directly to her face about forcing Joe Biden to drop out and effectively just lie to the cameras. It's been reported, right? Everybody knows this to be true. And she's just like a sputtering mess to the cameras. It's totally evil. I really do question people who are okay with this, who are part of this, who are part of what they've done to Biden, who are okay with having 15 million votes thrown in the combustible trash compactor. And how can you be down with this? I don't know. I'm not sure. But here's your leader.
Please tell us what you told President Biden to persuade him to step aside.
Well, I've never shared any conversations with the President of the United States publicly, no.
It's said that he's furious at you. Is he?
Well, he knows that I love him very much.
I understand that you don't want to own this, but it is so well reported that you were the leader of a pressure campaign.
No, I wasn't a leader of any precious party. Well, let me say things that I didn't do. I didn't call one person. I did not call one person. I could always say to him, I never called anybody. What I'm saying is I had confidence that the president would make the proper choice for our country, whatever that would be. And I said that, whatever that is, we'll go with.
Had you seen a decline in Joe Biden, and did you think he needed to step aside?
No. My whole point was, whatever he decides, but we have to have a more aggressive campaign.
She mentioned his many accomplishments, including his forceful leadership of the NATO summit with other Western heads of state.
So he was in a good place to make whatever decision, the top of his game. Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Want to know what comes next.
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore? Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.